Support for Colorado Today comes from Safeway, where you can shop online and get easy delivery or free pickup. Get the same prices, deals, and rewards as in-store. Shop the weekly ad, clip deals, and earn points at Safeway.com or in the Safeway app.
Support for Colorado Today comes from Credit Union of Colorado. With access to over 30,000 ATMs and a mobile app, they're dedicated to offering the services of a big bank with a heart. Learn more at honestlygood.org.
There's a blood moon happening tonight. Now, when I was 6 years old, I was told that blood moons were when monsters would come out to play. And yet, it is still one of my favorite natural phenomenons. The last time it happened was 3 years ago, so fingers crossed you'll get to see it, even though there's a slight chance of clouds tonight. I'm Arlo Perez Esquivel. Coming up, everything you want to know about blood moons. Plus, Colorado has the money to help you buy new appliances. Only one problem.
Just for some clarity here, Colorado does have that $140 million?
Then, black license plates are everywhere.
There are almost 400,000 vehicles with these license plates on the road.
Now there's a fight over money that they generate. And we have ideas for your weekend. It's Thursday, March 13th. Here's the news in Colorado today. Coloradans could miss out on thousands of dollars. CPR's Sam Brash tells Bozzy federal funds to update home appliances are frozen.
The uncertainty about some energy rebate programs started when President Trump issued one of his first executive orders. It froze all funding for the major climate law that Congress passed back in 2022. Sam, federal judges have since ruled that those funds must be unfrozen. So where is the money?
That is a great question. So this all goes back to that 2022 Inflation Reduction Act, and it included $8.8 billion to help people improve the energy efficiency of their home or maybe buy some electric appliances. Colorado got a $140 million chunk of that money, but now there appears to be a snag in terms of getting it to consumers. Earlier this week, the Colorado Energy Office told me that it has paused plans to launch its rebates sometime in the first half of this year because it's just been so hard to work with the new Trump administration.
We have a lot of low-income customers who are really looking forward to this money, and it always is challenging to be the bearer of bad news.
D.R. Richardson owns a company in Boulder called Elephant Energy. They help households replace appliances like gas-burning stoves and furnaces with other electric options. And like you heard him say, some of his customers are really disappointed that they might not see these rebate programs happen.
Can you tell us more about who's eligible for these rebates and how they can use them?
So these are two rebate programs. Both of them aim at middle and low income people. So if you make the average median income in your county, you might qualify for one of these programs. One of them helps people improve the energy efficiency of their apartment or maybe their manufactured home. Think like insulation, basic stuff like that. The other offers these consumer discounts for appliances, maybe up to $8,000 for a heat pump to replace a gas furnace or $840 for an electric induction stove.
How much does it normally cost to purchase a heat pump or an induction stove?
A heat pump can be really expensive, like $15,000, $20,000 with installation at some point. Induction stove, thousands of dollars. So again, this is a really significant bit of help there.
How important is it for homeowners to make this change to electric appliances?
So right now, a lot of electricity comes from places like natural gas and coal, but over time, more and more of it is going to come from wind and solar. If you install an electric appliance now, it's kind of a way to ensure that you're going to be using that clean energy later on. That's a really good way to cut emissions. And it also means that you could reduce indoor air pollution that results from, say, turning on a gas stove and burning something in your house.
Are there still other options for homeowners who want or need government help to update their energy-draining appliances?
Absolutely, yeah. Places like Denver and Boulder County offer rebates on things like heat pumps. Xcel Energy also just won approval for a $440 million clean heat plan, and that's all about transitioning homes to electricity instead of fossil fuels, and it includes lots of rebates as well. So people can get plenty of help, but Richardson, that entrepreneur you heard from earlier, he said this federal federal money was really going to help lower income people afford these appliances. And it's also just created uncertainty for his operation.
We're working with them the best that we can, but being able to plan and less whipsawing is super valuable to businesses like us.
Sam Brash, thank you for your reporting on this.
Thank you.
Have you noticed those black license plates that seem to be everywhere in Colorado?
I wanted something new and fresh.
Helena Perez in Newcastle has one on her Subaru.
Since I got my new car in 2023, my white car, I don't know, I thought it looked really nice, the combination of the black plates with the white vehicle.
And it's not just your imagination. They are so popular that the state has made $1 million a month just in fees from these solid color plates. CPR's Benta Berkland has found out that the popularity is actually becoming an issue with the state's budget. Benta, honestly, it baffles me that these are so popular.
The state's only been offering these for 2 years. Already, there are almost 400,000 vehicles with these license plates on the road.
Wow. So then explain to me how a piece of metal can have an impact on a budget.
The license plates are making a lot of money at a time when the state is facing a big budget shortfall. Now, the shortfall is more than $1 billion, so this $12 million obviously can't fill the budget hole.
Yeah.
But lawmakers are looking at any amount of money, even if it's just a drop in the bucket, that can be reallocated and shift things around to blunt some of the cuts they're anticipating. Medicaid and education make up the largest share of the state budget, and lawmakers really want to try to minimize the impacts in those areas. And specialty license plates are one of those things being considered to just help with some of that backfill.
Well, if it wasn't for this, then where is the money supposed to go?
Half of the money from these historic license plates goes to help people with disabilities access benefits, which is not an easy process to navigate. The other half goes to innovative grants to improve the quality of life for people living with disabilities. One organization got a grant to create a vibrating dance floor.
Wow.
So this is so deaf people could feel the beat and dance to music. And a disability theater group got funded to put on a production. And then this year, they may fund a program to help moms who are caregivers of kids with extreme cerebral palsy or developmental disabilities.
I mean, all of that sounds amazing, but it makes me feel a little bit uncomfortable that they have to rely on license plate money for those type of things.
This is something the disability community came up with, and it happened back in 2011. And this is because they felt like they weren't getting funding for things they felt were really critical and were consistently told by the state, sorry, we don't have money in the budget for that. Then they had the idea to expand it by bringing back these historic license plates. So these are the solid colors, solid red, blue, or black, and then they have the white letters. And these are license plates that some of them date back to the 19-teens and have been discontinued, I think, since the 50s. And they've gone gangbusters, and they've brought in $1 million a month.
You've been talking to advocates of the disability community. What are they saying about the possibility of the money being redirected?
They're concerned. I talked with Ben Meyerhoff. He's the Colorado Disability Fund coordinator, and that's the group that decides on the grants. And it's interesting to note that everyone who's part of this does live with a disability.
This historically is an underfunded community. And just because the state is having a difficult time doesn't mean that these funds should go to the general fund.
Meyerhoff said there's just so many requests the Disability Fund wants to pay for, but they can't, even with this new influx of money. He and others do understand, though, that the state has a very tight budget. And I heard from some people in the disability community that they may be okay with the money being redirected this one time, as long as it still goes to a part of the state budget that directly impacts people with disabilities.
Benta, thank you.
Thanks.
For night owls and those burning the midnight oil, you may want to step outside around 1 a.m. for a visual treat. For the first time in 3 years, there will be a total lunar eclipse that gives the moon a blood red glow. Bruce Bookout teaches astronomy at Pikes Peak State College and is a member of the Colorado Springs Astronomical Society. Bruce, thank you for being here.
Glad to be here. Thanks.
So what exactly is a lunar eclipse?
A lunar eclipse is when basically the Earth gets between the sun and the moon.
When is the last time that we saw one here?
The last one was November of 22 here in the North American continent.
Now, if it's the Earth blocking the sun, why does the moon have that red glow to it? Shouldn't it just be black?
Yeah, you would think that, the Earth would cast a black shadow, and technically it does. But the problem is that the Earth has an atmosphere. The Earth's atmosphere will act like a prism, like your eyeglasses or a lens, where it bends the light.
Whoa.
As it bends, it strips out all the blues and yellows and greens. And what penetrates through onto the moon is this red light. So the lunar eclipse appears red, or if you want to be dramatic, blood red.
So how can we see the eclipse? Do we need a telescope for it?
No, not really. A pair of binoculars is probably the most powerful thing you want to see if you want to see some pretty details. But naked eye, it does very, very well to be able to take a look at it.
So if you can see it with your naked eyes, and this phenomenon has happened for centuries, did our ancient ancestors believe that the blood moon signified something?
Give you an example. Most cultures around the world will have themes of like an animal of some type swallowing the moon. If you are Norse, you used to think that Loki sent wolves out to chase either the sun or the moon for causing an eclipse. If you were Mayan, you thought a jaguar was eating it. There's other cultures around the world that talk about it being stolen.
It is fascinating that so many different cultures across the world have different ideas for this. Why do you think people are fascinated by these type of natural events?
Well, because on any given night, when you go out and you look at the moon month to month, you go, oh, look, a full moon. It's pretty, it's bright. I get to stay out a little longer. So when all of a sudden the normal nighttime sky of pretty white, the full moon goes away and it becomes blood red, it would scare the pants off you.
I was scared of blood moons when I was a little kid, so I get that. Bruce, thank you so much.
Oh, anytime.
If you do get up to see the blood moon, send us a picture. Our email is coloradotoday@cpr.org. For more entertainment, you can check out 2 film festivals this weekend. One is the annual Boulder International Film Festival, which starts tonight. Among the dozens of films they have are 4 straight from Sundance.
We go to a lot of film festivals. We also get a lot of submissions, and we do a lot of research on what's doing well at other festivals.
Kathy Beck is the festival's director.
So we program based on what this community and this area is looking for. And so because of that, it's really a film lovers festival.
The other event is the Dragon Boat Film Festival, which starts tomorrow in Denver. It celebrates the culture and experiences of Asian and Pacific Islander communities. For other ideas on what to do this weekend across Colorado, check out the CO Art Spotlight in the link in our show notes. CPR's Lauren Antonoff-Hart rates the weekly Art Spotlight. Additional reporting was by Joe Erickson. Colorado Today is made possible by support from listeners like you. To make it easy to get tomorrow's show, follow Colorado Today in your podcast app. I'm Arlo Perez Esquivel. This is CPR News.
Support for Colorado Today comes from Safeway, where you can shop online and get easy delivery or free pickup. Get the same prices, deals, and rewards as in-store. Shop the weekly ad, clip deals, and earn points at Safeway.com or in the Safeway app.
Support for Colorado Today comes from Credit Union of Colorado. With access to over 30,000 ATMs and a mobile app, they're dedicated to offering the services of a big bank with a heart. Learn more at honestlygood.org.